happy to have two individuals here who I think I met first over the phone. And so now I have the pleasure of actually meeting them face to face, and they're our first kind of official after the quarantine shutdown guest here on Bridging the Gap Radio. So I want to welcome to our to our show, Deborah Martinez and also Jessica Wallingford. Wallingford. That's a little tongue twister there. But thank you for being here. They are with the program that is Stop the Cycle Education. You want to definitely listen to this because I think it's a great program that they're doing. It is helping out the community, and they're going to share with you what the program is about, a little bit about maybe their background, where they're coming from. But Deborah and Jessica, thank you for being here. Say hello to the people listening out there today.
Well, thank you for having us today. It's a big blessing for us to be able to share what we're trying to do with the community. And before talking to you, we really didn't have any idea of how we were going to be able to do that. So thank you for having us.
Oh, thank you for being here.
Yes, thank you, Sal. We appreciate it so much.
Tell us, I know, we the program, what it's about, we'll get into that a little bit, but a little bit of background of, are you from San Antonio or?
Deborah tells a good story about how we met.
Okay, yeah, that's a good starting point right there. How did y'all meet? Yeah, that's a good one.
So that's how we start our class whenever we have class.
Okay. All right, well, how did you guys meet?
So in 2016, I started working at a methadone clinic, and I think like 2 weeks before that, Jessica started, and so we were both kind of the newbies there at the clinic.
Oh, okay.
And so we kind of
in a room together, and we just stared at each other for a long time. We're like,
that's where the connection happens.
Yeah. So we were working with each other for a few months, and then we had a coworker that had kind of like a small side business for himself, and so Jessica and I started talking about that we wanted to do more for the community. So it's like we took off from there, and we went to training after training, and then we kind of decided that we wanted to make our own small business, and so that's when we created Stop the Cycle.
So it started there, both of y'all meeting, and you were also at that.
Yeah.
At the business where you guys were employed.
Yes.
And so what brought that on? I mean, I know for some of you who may not know what methadone clinic is, it's where people that are addicted to drugs come and try to wean off of
mostly heroin,
right,
or opiates. So they use methadone to try to get off of the harder things.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, we were working there, and we just, it's such a hard population, and it's so hard to see people, just a revolving door of people coming, and we just really felt called to do more in the community, and reach out and do prevention and awareness and things like that. So
and you working with, and I don't want to say those people, right? Just working with that. In that type of environment, you see what the drugs, what the addictions do to people, because I know being where we're at in 78207, there's a lot of that here. And we have people that walk in and they come in and I've had some that people that come in and just, you can tell they're hurting.
They're tired.
Exactly. And so, they just want help. They're looking for hope.
Right.
And so all I can do is sit with them and just either talk with them or pray with them and say, look, if like you said, and I always tell them this, I said, you have to be tired of being tired.
Right.
Until you get to that point, I think you won't be able to do something, because you have to have a defining moment in your life where it changes something, because we have a lot of little moments here and there, and they come in and they're just tired for that moment. They just, you get a little encouragement, they take off, but they go back right where they were at. But I said, unless you have that defining moment, or you're just ready to change, it's not going to happen.
Right.
But it hurts you because of the condition they're in. And so this is what y'all are doing what you were doing at the clinic, right? Helping people like that,
right.
Seeing the need and seeing the hurt and the pain, and saying, what can I do?
Right.
And so
we kind of
that was your motivation.
Yeah, like there was only so much we could do because we were confined to that box of treatment, and wanting to do more and get outside of that box, you know.
So what Jessica and I did there at the clinic was we had created like a board, and that board had community resources, legal stuff, counseling for, maybe if they were domestic violence victims, or they just needed, some kind of assistance with legal help. We also had a board for like medical, dental, things in the community that were subsidized. And then we had an employment board where we had different, maybe like work leads, throughout the community and stuff like that. So
a resource board.
Yes. So, I mean, it was huge.
That was all Deborah. I had nothing to do with
huge.
Yeah, it was huge.
So I think that was when we both realized that we needed to do more than that, more than just a board, more than just, here's some information if you need it. I really felt that we needed, to do more encouragement and more direction.
Right.
And so working for a corporation like that, we are bound to regulations and just rules of,
Right.
that
Your hands are tied a lot.
right.
And unfortunately, that's the case, right? When you have like either state or government or something that, well, you can't do this, you can't do that. And it's like, well, you're kind of limiting what I can do. And I can see, like you were seeing, we can do so much more, but yet all these little red tapes that are like, you can't. And I understand that, because I kind of get a little frustrated when I see those things happen. And it's like, no, we can do more.
Right.
It's just these little things just kind of prevent us from doing what we possibly could do to help these individuals. And so the frustration sometimes leads to that, right? It's like, I think the frustration y'all had is like, we can do more.
Exactly.
And so when you saw that, and you did you did a bulletin board, so to speak, did you think, okay, I think we're going to do something more than that, and than what we did at that moment, or what took you out of that picture? Because something had to pull you out of there.
Yeah,
to
we
say
had
we're leaving it behind.
several of those aha moments. Like we worked across the hall from each other, so we would always be like, oh my gosh, like I had an idea, or we were constantly just thinking like, I can't wait until we start this. I can't wait until we start this. And honestly, it was a lot of work.
Oh,
but
yeah.
When it happened, we were just like, oh my gosh, like it's happening. And Deborah still works a full-time job, and I stay with my kids and help my husband. So it's not like we've arrived or anything, but we've worked really hard to get to where we are, but we're ready for, to continue doing
Right, another
and get
level.
to the next thing. Yeah.
And you've been doing this for 3 years, right? That was when you decided, okay, take a leap of faith, and that's the hardest part.
Yeah.
Right. The hardest part is like, I have no clue where I'm going or what I'm going to do and how we're going to do it. But I think if we know that God is behind us, it's like, okay, God, I got to rely on you, because I have no clue.
Yes.
No clue as to where I'm going or how to do this.
I think our first class was January 2017, right?
2018.
2018. Oh my gosh.
And so
It took us like a whole year to get prepared for our first official class.
well, and preparation is important. I always tell people, I said, yeah, you can do something at the whim, but how effective will you be?
Right.
Because here, I can tell you, LCM pastors always like, let's do this. And I said, yes, I get that. But preparation is important, because we don't want to do something and then figure out, oh, man, we should have done this or should have done that, and have to come back and fix it.
Yeah.
And so preparation is really important. And sometimes we want to rush that.
I think
And
Jesus
you can't.
prepared for like 30 years, right?
Well, his ministry was 3 years only, but
Right.
He had to prepare when he was in and I was thinking about that, the quarantine, right? That Jesus kind of quarantined himself for 40 days because he knew the mission that was coming. He knew what was coming. So the preparation took 40 days for him. For us, it takes longer. But I think the preparation is very important, not to be able to just go out, and sometimes you just go out on a whim and just roll the dice, right? But I like to be prepared and know that, okay, did I be able to do everything that I could do to be able to do this, and make sure that it gets done the best way it can. So that's where you're at right now. Now, share a little bit about what is it exactly that the program does.
You want to take this one, Deborah? I'm just kidding. I got it. So we mostly do classes for people who get DWIs or drug offenses. We offer 4 different classes. We do them one time a month. So we have DWI Education, we have drug offender education, we do a victim impact panel class, which is really awesome because we have different people who have actually been impacted by a drunk driving accident, either themselves or their family members. And we have them come in and talk to our class about how it's affected them personally, how it's affected their family. So that one is always very impactful. And then we also do a theft prevention class once a month at the Bexar County Reentry Center. So we have different things going on. We do counseling, case management services. We do assessments for drug and alcohol. So we do a lot. What else do we do, Deborah?
So mainly we have connections with the DWI court, the specialty courts.
Right. These are like court mandated that when they get in trouble, the court tells you, you have to do these classes, right? So that's where you come in.
We are also in the process of having our trauma-informed care counseling. So we're preparing for that also. And we're trying to... we were actually trying to work with one of the county courts that does the domestic violence. And so they are trying to get funding for that also, but because they're the perpetrator in the court, there's not a lot of resources or funding that they're able to receive because of that, because mainly the fundings are for the victims and not so much the person that is the offender. But I feel that if we reach the offender, then we're able to stop that cycle. And so I think that funding is more, it's just as important for them than and it is for the victim, because at one point they were the victim.
Exactly.
And so
the cycle continues. And it's kind of it's like, well, we need money after the fact to try to fix this, instead of saying, why don't we pour money over here, being proactive before it gets to this point. Just, again, government at work, right?
And that's our whole mantra, is stopping the cycle by creating change. So that's what, no matter what it is, domestic violence, theft, addiction, that's what we're trying to do. We have gone out in the community and done a lot of prevention and, tried to provide resources for the community, whatever it is. So that's what we're about.
And so what are the courses that you take? How long are they? Or is it something that... or is it fee-based? You have fees to take the course?
Yes, sir. It is a state-approved class. We had to go through extensive training and get certified to actually teach these classes. So the first one I mentioned, the DWI Education, is a 12-hour class. So we do that the first weekend of every month. The first full weekend is DWI, and it's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So it's very grueling, it's very long and intense, but they really learn a lot, and they have to take this class in order to get their license reinstated. The second one is actually a 15-hour class, so they're there Monday through Friday, 3 hours a day, learning and acquiring all the information they need to hopefully not, go back into that cycle.
Right, and this is, like I said, something that is required when the court says, it's part of part of your conditions of, what you're going to have to do, and if they don't do that, they don't.
They don't get their license back. They can't, drive legally or.
So it's important, especially here, I think in Texas, I think I heard, I could be wrong, but don't quote me on that Texas is like the most state that has the most issues with drunk drivers.
And San Antonio as well is up there in numbers as far as, with Fiesta and everything that we have going on as far as DWIs, it's pretty high. So
it's unfortunate that we do need classes like that, right? Because we have that problem or those issues. But it's a good thing that, there's people, individuals like yourself that are willing to, and I see that, you guys are doing this out of your heart. It's not for the money.
Oh, no.
It's not for the money, because believe me, if it was, I don't think you would have survived as much as you have to get to this point. And a lot of times, I understand that, because I've been through that. Not quitting what you had to do something that that some people would say you're crazy. You're crazy. Why are you doing this? You're not getting paid. I mean, I didn't get paid here for the 3-4 years, and just relying on God that He was going to provide, and He has. But when you're really doing something from the heart for people, it's a whole different feeling, because you know that sometimes when you're able to help someone, you see the change or the transformation, not because of what you've done necessarily, but what God has been allowing you to do, being His hands and feet, to see the change in people and say, man, I saw where you were, now look where you're at. Now, like I tell them, pass it forward. Go and do and help someone. And so this is where you're at right now. You're in transition, right? Just getting to talk to you for a little bit. I understand that, it's like, okay, we've been established. We have like a foundation, because you've been 3 years. So now what? Right? What are your goals, or what are your visions, or what did you see that, just like you took that first leap of faith, now you're at this other crossroads where, like, what do we do now, right?
So now what we're trying to do is we're trying to convert from a partnership that we have over to a nonprofit, because what we're seeing in the community is that, yes, we are trying to help them with the substance abuse counseling and all of that. But a lot of times they're coming out of the legal system. We have kids, 16, 17, 18 years old that maybe are not, maybe they don't have the best role models in their life.
Right.
And so they lack employment skills, interviewing techniques, handshaking, just the basics in order for them to be able to obtain employment. So what we're trying to do is we want to establish a nonprofit so that we're able to do job training. Jessica's husband actually has created a small business that does landscaping, fence building, things like that. And so what we want to do is we want to bring those individuals that are needing that kind of, job training, to bring them over and provide the case management, the substance abuse counseling while they're in the job training program. Right. So that way they're able to have some kind of foundation built. They have motivation, they have encouragement, they have support, and they're, getting a field where they're able to work and be successful. Right. So that way the recidivism, is decreased, and then they're able to, maybe teach their children, hey, if I could do it, you can do it too. Stay in school or get a, get a certificate of some kind of, trade or anything like that, because, a lot of times college is not in the future of a lot of.
It's not for everybody.
A lot of people.
I can attest to that.
So. Obtaining a trade, that's for life. You're not going to lose it. You're never going to unlearn something like that. So, I think this is a really awesome program that, we're all trying to get started.
And that's, you need that, because like we were talking about it, you diversify more than, it's just not one thing, which the classes, the education part is great, but it's like you said, empowering them with skills to be able to say, okay, you know what, you accomplished this, now what are you lacking? Well, I don't have a job. And a lot of times you hear a lot of the people that are coming out of jail that, hey, I just can't find a job. I can't find, and that's when usually they fall or they fail. And they end up back, because it's like, what do I do? I just got to go back to what I was doing before to survive, And so equipping them to be able to say, okay, we help you with this, but not only that, we're going to be able to help you with a trade, whether it's construction or whether, nowadays it's computers, but having a location or a facility to be able to do that is important, because you need that. And on top of that, I think you also were saying to be able to, if they do get an interview for a job, a lot of times they're like, well, I don't have any clothes. To have a place where, well, here's your suit, here's a dress, we'll help you, like dress for success.
Exactly.
The resumes that you can do there as well. Just a variety of things that it all comes together with that one thing. It's not like you're going, like I said earlier, way off the deep end to go do something that has nothing really to do with what you're doing. So it all encompasses that as well. We're almost toward the end of our program, but if somebody's listening, because I know that it's just not, I know you're looking for a building or somewhere hopefully closer to downtown because the court is close to there, but I'm sure at this point, anything that maybe somebody say, hey, I got a building I don't use, you're more than welcome to use it. Or
they will take it, Sal.
There you go. We got to ask. We don't have because we don't ask sometimes. And I always believe that God works in mysterious ways, and God says, hey, just if you have faith in me, just go for it. And so if there is somebody out there that may have a building that, to start off with, I mean, that's a start, right? But that, or maybe somebody wants to say, you know what, I can help, donate, or where can they reach you? What information or contact? Who can they contact for more information, or maybe even to give a $1,000 donation? We'll put it out there.
You can contact either one of us.
So our email address is stopthecycleedu@gmail.com. We also have a Facebook page.
Okay.
You can always call or text one of us. My number is 210-723-2422.
Mine is 210-268-5211.
Okay. And I know we were talking about before we were here, but I know, Deborah, you were talking about, the wanting to become a nonprofit. I know that takes money and everything. So if anybody wants to sow a seed into that, to be able to raise funds to get that, I know there's fees involved. Right. Again, anything you can do to help, because I believe in programs like this that are actually helping the community. And it's not for profit. I mean, yeah, you have to make a living. You have to make a living. We all have bills to pay. We all have these things that unfortunately come with, surviving or living. But still, nonetheless, being able to have programs here that are really wanting to do something for individuals or people to benefit the community, I think we want to get behind that. We want to be able to support or help whatever case or whatever situation we can, because it's going to have effect on the community. And you may think, well, how does it affect me? Well, these people that are coming out of jail, they've been in there for burglary, or they've been in there for drug addiction. They have to go feed their addiction, are the ones that sometimes unfortunately are stealing your things. And so you can't say there's no connection there. So it's a good thing to be able to say, yeah, we want to help to lessen this if we can. Anything else before we come to an end to the program here? Anything else you want to share?
I mean, I think we're just really excited to kind of get to that next level and be able to help more people and provide more resources. So seriously, anything anybody can do to help, we would greatly appreciate it. So, and we thank you for the opportunity to get the word out there, Sal.
No, thank you. Appreciate it. Like I said, you all are the first kickoff of coming back from the quarantine, situation that we were in. So I'm excited too to be here. But again, being able to help individuals, projects like yourself, or organizations that are doing something for the community. That's. I mean, what better way to to be able to help people than to help people that are helping people, right? Exactly. Does that make sense? But we are at the end of our broadcast here. I want to thank you again for coming, for being here to share what the Stop the Cycle Education is doing. Deborah, Jessica, thank you very much. And we hope that if you're listening, that you will be able to help somehow, some way, whether it's financial, whether it's donating. I'm sure if you get a building, you're going to need office equipment, you're going to be needing furniture, whatever the case may be. So we want to put it out there. There's always ways you can help. Again, give me a number where they can reach you.
My name is Deborah, and you can call me at 210-723-2422.
Okay. And also they are on Facebook.
Yes, at Stop the Cycle Education on Facebook.
Okay, so go up there and see what they're doing. Leave them a comment, or maybe, like I said, if you want to help out, if you want to make a donation, or maybe you have or know somebody that may need this program. Okay, so go by, visit, let them know that you heard them on the radio, and or like I said, you want to help. But thank you so much for being part of our Bridging the Gap Radio Talk Show. We will be back here again next week. Thank you so much, and God bless.